All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dan Sakaki, and I am the Director of Stakeholder Relations and Membership at the Richmond Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Lunch and Learn webinar, Selling on Amazon. The Richmond Chamber of Commerce operates on the traditional territory of the Musqueam First Nation. They have lived on this land for millennia, and we are grateful that we can gather here today. So before I begin, I'd like to go over some housekeeping items with you. We are all encouraging questions today, and all we ask is that you keep them related to selling on Amazon. Our host today, he has assured me that he's never met Jeff Bezos, so there's no real point in venturing off the topic of selling on Amazon. So you can submit them in the Q&A function during the presentation at the bottom of your screen, and we'll get to them after the presentation. So we're going to end by 1 p.m., but before then, we will get to as many questions as we can. If you run into any problems during the presentation, please reach out to me in the chat function. So we have lots of excited members in the room, and now that housekeeping is out of the way, let's introduce our presenter for today's webinar, the first of 3 webinars we'll be doing from this Amazon series. So Matt Turner has been at Amazon since 2018 and is currently Head of Business Development for Western Canada. In his current role, Matt provides guidance and resources to businesses throughout Canada interested in expanding to sell on Amazon. He collaborates with organizations focused on small business initiatives to help provide additional Amazon-related content and bring the awareness to the many resources available to businesses seeking to sell online. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Matt Turner.
Thank you so much, Dan. Hello, everyone. As Dan mentioned, I am Matt Turner, Head of Business Development for Amazon here for Western Canada. Privileged to be here and happy to have the opportunity to discuss selling on Amazon with everyone in the room. As Dan mentioned, we're going to have some time for Q&As later in the event, so feel free to drop those in the Q&A function, and we'll start addressing those towards the end. And as Dan mentioned, as long as those questions are relevant to selling on Amazon, I'll be able to help you out with those answers. And also, like Dan mentioned, I unfortunately have not met Jeff yet, but that's on my list of things to do. So I'll let you guys know when that happens. So before we jump in, I want to share my team's contact information here. This is extremely valuable for those of you that are attending today. smb-bc@amazon.com. This is where you can get contact with us directly. My team works with less than 1% of all Amazon sellers, so it's a very unique opportunity to have one of us on the phone to talk to you about your options and if Amazon is the right fit for your current situation. Now, I will say we won't be able to assist with sourcing products or determining what products you should sell on Amazon. We can certainly provide some guidance on how to research on Amazon, which when we get to the Q&A, I'll provide some more clarity around that. But this is really going to be useful for those businesses that are ready to expand on Amazon. That's where we're going to be of most use to you. We'll be able to narrow your focus and walk you through what that process looks like, and hopefully get you up and running on Amazon within 30 days. And then my team also provides some additional support going forward. Typically, we work with businesses through December 31st of each year, and then we roll over our books to start working with a new cohort because we want to try and get to as many businesses as possible. And our ultimate goal is to teach you how to use the platform so that you're successful. And in year 2 is whenever we typically see a lot of success for business owners. So for today's event, I want to talk a little bit about Amazon's presence throughout Canada. And then in part 2, we'll dive into the details at a high level of how to actually start selling on Amazon. And then we'll have time for that Q&A section. So at Amazon, one of our biggest drivers is our obsession with customers. At Amazon, our mission is to be Earth's most customer-centric company, to build a place where people can come to find and discover anything they might want to buy online. And all of the innovation over the last 20 years has been guided by this customer obsession. And as the quote shows here, we start with the customer and we work backwards. We cannot think about customer obsession without innovation. They're simply two sides of the same coin. Our desire to delight customers drives us to invent on their behalf. And innovation means thinking differently and having the audacity to do it. Now, Jeff talks about how customers are always dissatisfied, even when they report being happy. Even when they don't know it yet, customers want something better. And no customer ever asked Amazon to create the Kindle or our Prime membership program, but we're thrilled that they like both of them. Now, because Amazon focuses on the customer and not the competition, we've been able to continue to innovate on behalf of our customers. So what do we think customers want? Now, Jeff has also said before that he often gets asked, what's going to change in the next 10 years? And he'll respond by saying that's an interesting question, but he almost never gets asked the opposite question, which is what is not going to change in the next 10 years? And that's perhaps the more important question. So what we believe will not change over the next 10 years is that customers will want vast selection. They'll want it fast, they'll want convenient delivery, and they'll want competitive prices. Those are the three pillars of our retail strategy. It's that simple. It's impossible to imagine a future where customers say, I love Amazon, I just wish the prices were a little higher. Or I love Amazon, I just wish you'd deliver a little more slowly. And because of that, we orient our whole strategy around those ideas. They're simple to say, but very hard to execute consistently over time. Now, we've put a lot of energy into delivering on these three pillars for customers, and we'll continue to do so because we think it will pay dividends 10 years from now. So let's jump back to 2002 when Amazon Canada first started. So here's a snapshot of what Amazon.ca looked like early on when we first launched. We sold books, music, and films, and that was it. If you compare what our site looked like in 2002 to what Amazon.ca looks like today and the services that we offer today, I think it gives you a sense of the amount of innovation over the last 20 years. Now, here's what the site looks like today. It's the #1 most trafficked retail website in Canada and #6 overall. And beyond just the graphic redesign, there's a surprising amount of innovation embedded on the page that has happened over the last 2 decades. First, it's a more personalized experience. We allow customers a convenient place to access their account settings, order history, Prime benefits. We know more about who you are. We also know more about where you are. We've integrated location awareness to make sure we give customers accurate delivery times as they're shopping. And in the center of the page, we also make personalized product recommendations based on past shopping experiences. Now, these product recommendations are from both retail, which would be Amazon, and third-party small businesses like yourselves. And we've also innovated to bring a broader selection of products to our customers. Traditional categories like home, kitchen and pets, handmade, Amazon storefront for handmade artisan items, and also in new categories like Kindle tablets, streaming media, and a growing selection of voice-enabled devices under the Echo and Alexa departments. Again, all of this innovation has happened over the last 2 decades. Now, this slide shows the evolution and growth of Amazon as we rapidly expanded the categories of products offered, including electronics, kitchen appliances, tools, baby and pet products, cosmetics, and clothing, just to name a few. And by 2013, we were launching new categories every 2 months. We now have a vast selection of tens of millions of products for sale on Amazon.ca, Amazon, and by small and medium-sized businesses. Now, the vast majority of the tens of millions of sell on Amazon are sold by SMBs only. The marketplace business is a fundamental part of our strategy to make sure customers can find everything they may want on Amazon. So the next question is, how do we get all of these products to customers? Well, in 2011, we opened our first Canadian fulfillment center in Mississauga, Ontario. By the end of 2021, we had 17 fulfillment centers in Canada, 4 of those in British Columbia, 1 of them in Richmond, BC. Now, as we're looking at this, what I want to point out is we've got fulfillment centers, sortation centers, and delivery stations. So I was telling Dan earlier, think of this as the Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. So the fulfillment centers are the big facilities where we have thousands of employees and we have hundreds of thousands of square feet of inventory storage. So that's where a lot of the inventory is housed. Then the sortation centers are kind of the middle point in that supply chain, getting those products sorted to the right location to be finally delivered to the delivery stations, which is the end point where those prime delivery vans are going to be rolling out. The other thing I want to point out is that we have 3 corporate offices in Canada. So it's not just the fulfillment network, but we also have corporate offices in Victoria, Winnipeg, and Ottawa. And then also we've got 2 tech hubs, one in Vancouver and Toronto. So that's where our AWS teams are located. And then we have what are called AWS regions, which are our data center regions. We have one in Montreal, and then we have one coming online in Calgary, either by the end of 2023 or early 2024. So all of this is a great representation of the investment that Amazon is placing in Canada, and we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't feel that there was a lot of opportunity here. So we will continue to invest in Canada because we see the opportunity for growth for small businesses and for Amazon in general. Now, in British Columbia, we have 10,000 full and part-time employees, with 3,500 located at the Tech Hub in Vancouver. Another 5,000 are expected to be added by the end of 2023. And over the last decade, Amazon has invested more than $3 billion in BC alone. And because of this infrastructure, we're able to tie into Amazon's global network and extend our reach to customers around the world. So we currently have over 300 million active customers in more than 180 countries. In Canada alone, we have almost 16 million monthly unique visitors. That's almost half the population of Canada visiting Amazon on a monthly basis. So whenever I'm looking at this, if I'm a small business owner, I am thinking I want to put my products where my customers are already shopping. So getting virtual shelf space in Amazon is the ability to tap into that sales traffic that is coming to the website every single month. Now, here are some results from the last year. We had over 40,000 Canadian SMBs from all 13 provinces and territories that exceeded over 1 billion in sales on Amazon Canada. In 2021, nearly 110 million products sold were from small and medium-sized businesses, and almost 4,000 of those businesses hit 100,000 in sales. Now, Canadian small businesses have achieved over 2 billion in sales in Amazon stores to customers abroad, leveraging Amazon's sales tools and logistics services such as Fulfillment by Amazon to reach those 300 million active customers worldwide. Also in 2021, we had 240 businesses surpass $1 million in sales for the first time. This led to a 38% increase in the total number of businesses who surpassed $1 million in sales. And over 50% of all sellers used our logistic network, also known as Fulfillment by Amazon. And finally, we did a poll internally, and we found that 46% of businesses selling on Amazon are women-owned. That's a pretty awesome stat. So we update these numbers every year. So next year, we expect to see these numbers grow even more. So we'll be sure to update those as well on future events. All right, so that concludes Amazon's presence throughout Canada. Just to give you an introduction on how we operate, what investments we're making, and how our sellers are performing. Now I want to get into the specific, high-level overview of selling on Amazon. And first, we'll talk about brands and establishing brands, and then we'll get into actually selling on Amazon, and then some tools and resources to help you grow and scale. Now, before we jump in here, I want to point out that a lot of this will be focused on brand owners, but you can also be a reseller on Amazon. Now, the difference between those two, a brand owner is someone or a business that manufactures or private labels or has a trademark for their product. A reseller is going to be selling popular existing items and most likely listing those on a product listing where there are other resellers involved as well. So that one, the reseller strategy is absolutely viable. Just be aware that there could be some price competitiveness involved in that as well. So margins could be a little bit slimmer if there's a lot of competition involved. But we can talk about that a little bit later on. Now, I like this quote from Jeff here. It says, "Your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room." So as a brand owner, if I'm reading this quote, I'm thinking, have I done enough to solidify my brand? Is my messaging clear? And do I know who my intended audience is? Answering these questions helps further drive engagement with customers on branding and product content. So even if a customer doesn't make a purchase, they're still using Amazon to learn more about brands and products. So if you take the add to cart button off Amazon, what's left is a robust collection of product content. Customer reviews, rich detail pages, images, and a Q&A section all make Amazon a product research destination for customers. This product research is tied to both purchasing products online and offline. Now, we did a survey with Forrester Research, and we found that for every $1 purchased online, $6 are researched online and purchased offline. And research shows that 59% of customers who visit Amazon do not ultimately purchase their product from our site, but their purchase is actually informed by what they learned while on Amazon from product details and customer reviews. So selling on Amazon Canada isn't just about listing your products and making sales. It's also about engaging with your customers and taking the opportunity to educate them on your brand and products. Now, selling online still requires the same solid business acumen as selling in person. There's a wide range of experience here between owners and entrepreneurs, and some that I've spoken with in one-on-one already have an established brand or a business that they want to expand. Now, I've also spoken to others who are in the early beginnings of their business, who know they want to sell on Amazon, but don't have a brand or product yet. So when you're considering what to sell on Amazon, think about these three questions. Who's your customer? What is their true need? And what are you offering to solve that need? Now, once you've identified the problem you're going to solve and your product, it's important to build the brand. Now, a brand is how you will bring personality to your product. It's about your mission, how people think about your products, and how your image is presented. Again, it's important to solidify your brand so your customers can learn more about your products and what you represent as a business. So in this section, we'll talk about how to register for Amazon for an Amazon seller account and what you need to successfully set up your Amazon business, as well as some of the popular tools Amazon sellers utilize on a daily basis. So the first question you need to ask is, how do you know when you're ready to sell on Amazon? When you have your target customer identified, have product ready to ship, and have the supply chain in place to support the volume of sales when you get discovered by a larger audience. And when we're talking about a larger audience, it's important to know we're not just talking about Amazon in Canada, but also around the world. So here's a quick look at Amazon's global presence. It's important to note that while sellers may have access to these other marketplaces, their products can only be sold if they're in compliance with local jurisdictions. So in my previous role here on the team, I focused on our largest Amazon.com sellers, and I helped them expand to Canada. So we worked on cross-border logistics. If they were in the health and personal care categories, we had to make sure that they went through Health Canada to get the right testing and documentation. Also, they needed different nutritional labels if they were in those categories, and bilingual labeling for Canada. So if you're thinking of reverse logistics coming from Canada to the US, you're going to need to understand those processes as well. So Amazon is going to require that your products are in compliance with the local government's laws and regulations. But starting an account in Canada gets you access to the US marketplace as well as the Mexico marketplaces. So that is no additional charge to you as a business owner. And we'll talk about the plans, the selling plans a little bit later on. But just know that as a Canadian business, you will get access to what's called a North America Unified Account. And again, that is access to .ca, .com, and .mx. So when you're ready to sign up for that Amazon Canada account, you can either send us a message directly and we'll help you with getting signed up, or you can self-register at sell.amazon.ca. And there's a wealth of information on sell.amazon.ca. A lot of it we're covering here, but it goes even further into some of the specific programs like Amazon Handmade, Fulfillment by Amazon. So feel free to explore that page and learn a little bit more about what we offer. And again, that SMB-BC at, feel free to drop me a line anytime, and I'm happy to answer questions if anything's unclear. Our goal is to make sure that you have the information necessary to make the right decisions for your business. And we want to provide clarity as much as possible. Now, we also take down anecdotes from businesses as they experience selling on Amazon or as they experience registering on Amazon. So that is very important to us as well. We take those down and we will combine those into a program for improvements, and we want to be constantly listening to business owners who, in our opinion, are our own customers. So we want to make sure that we have you at the forefront of our mind whenever we're building anything on Amazon. So these are the plans that I was referring to earlier. So we've got two separate plans. An individual plan, which is $1.49 per item sold, or a professional plan, which is $29.99 per month. So this is essentially, if you signed up for the individual plan, you would only incur $1.49 whenever you sold an item, but you would have limited access to Seller Central, which is the portal where you would manage your entire business. You wouldn't get access to business reports or other programs like Amazon Business, Subscribe and Save. So it is limited. And if you plan to sell more than 30 items in a month, then you're going to start losing a little bit on the transaction fee there. And it would make much more sense for you to focus on the professional plan, which is $29.99 per month. Think of that more as a subscription fee. That gets you access to Seller Central, being able to create product listings and business reports, brand registry, Amazon B2B. A lot of that opens up the resources and tools available to you. So feel free to let me know if there are any questions on these two plans. The professional plan, again, opens up a lot more to business owners that are looking to grow and expand. And I'm happy to jump on that, jump on those questions whenever we get them. All right, so to register, you're going to need the following information. You're going to need a business email address or your current Amazon customer account email. You'll need a chargeable credit card, a government issued national ID, tax information, a phone number, a bank account number, and a routing number. Now, once you've registered, you'll be given access to Seller Central. And again, that is where you're going to manage your entire Amazon business from beginning to end. So think of Seller Central as your go-to resource for selling on Amazon. It's a gateway to your Amazon business and a one-stop shop for managing your selling account. Now, you can do things such as managing your brand on Amazon, adding product information, making inventory updates, managing payments, and finding helpful content to help you navigate your Amazon business. It's also where you'll list all of your products and provide in-depth information about each listing. And you'll also use, if you decide to use Fulfillment by Amazon, within Seller Central, you'll also utilize the send to Amazon workflow. So we have a preferred carrier partner rates with UPS for small parcel. Unfortunately, that is not for LTL or FTL shipments, but those are very competitive rates for small parcels. So even starting out sending several boxes, depending on the size of your products, several hundred units, it puts a lot of margin back into your business because now you're not spending $20, $30 per item shipped to get it from BC to Toronto or wherever that shipment may be going, and you're trying to send it one at a time. We'll talk more about FBA here in a little bit. But first, I want to discuss how you would add a product to your Seller Central account. So adding a product is going to be the first step to having an active or live listing on Amazon. Now, you can add a product one at a time, upload a file from your catalog, or even create a direct data feed from your inventory system or other online store. Now, if you're selling items that already exist on Amazon, this would be the reseller approach that we talked about, then you simply need to look up existing information like a product name or a UPC code. Now, for your own branded products, you'll need to create an entirely new listing by selecting I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon. Now, from there, simply follow the instructions on how to correctly categorize your listing so customers can easily find your products when searching for like items. And I would say that this is where some businesses get hung up, is trying to correctly categorize their products. Now, whenever we talk about categorization of products, we want to think of this as a tree with branches and leaves. So the big categories like home and kitchen, automotive, those are going to be the trunk of the tree. And then as we get further up to the branches, we're starting to get more specific. So we might talk about, the bedroom, pillows, furniture, something as we get more specific. And then as we get to the end of those branches, we're looking at what we call leaf nodes. And that is the most specific category for your product. So we want to make sure that your products show up where customers are searching for them. And the Add a Product guide will walk you through that so that we make sure those products are where they need to be. But now just adding the product isn't enough to be successful. We'll also want to make sure that the detail page where that product exists has all of the features to make it successful. So here are the basics of building a great detail page. You have a title, images, a product description, bullet points, reviews, and even keywords. Now, your Seller Central account will include style guides and best practices to make sure you can create an engaging detail page. So we can take a look at each detail here, or each feature in a little bit more. So for the listing title, the best practices for a listing title is to keep it relevant, descriptive, and concise. Now, the style guide will walk you through what should be in your title, the order of descriptions, and consistent formatting. Now, this consistent formatting helps customers understand what they're buying and allows them to quickly scan titles to find the right products. Also, to help make your products more discoverable, there is a keyword feature whenever you create your product listings. So adding these keywords to your listings will help with organic search results. Now, these keywords are free. They're separate from our sponsored products or advertising campaigns, which we'll touch on a little bit later. But these are really important to make sure that you are showing up in those organic search results. And whenever I say keywords, that is the specific word or phrase that customers are putting into a search bar to populate that search result whenever they hit enter or search. And we want to make sure that you show up in those search results. Then whenever we talk about sponsored products later on, that's how you add more momentum and how you can get to higher up in those results. Now, for photos, we recommend that you add at least 6 photos and a video that show all the features of your product. Now, this is your opportunity to teach your customers what they'll need to know about your products to make a confident buying decision. Now, the image guidelines within Seller Central will explain the technical specs required for images. It'll also show you how to ensure they can be zoomed in on and comply with accessibility features on Amazon. The one point here is that the main image of your product listing needs to have an all white background. And the purpose of that is to make sure it's a consistent user experience for the customer. Whenever they are typing in that keyword to the search bar and they are looking through their search results, as they're scanning and scrolling through their results, we don't want any one product to stick out because the background is different from the other. So the easiest solution is to have an all white background so product is prominently placed in those search results. Now, we also want to talk about product features. So you can highlight the key features of your products through bullet points. Again, Seller Central is going to give tips for what to include and how to ensure your customers know everything they need to know about your product at a high level. So the bullet points, that is going to be the next level of data. So your title has already got their attention. It's drawn them into the product page or the product listing. Now the bullet points are those quick hitters at the top of the page, under the title, next to the images, where you can quickly give them what this product is, what it's intended for. Now you can get creative with those bullet points, but keeping them very clear and direct will help with customers understanding what it is, and it'll draw them in to continue to scroll down the page, which is what we call below the fold, similar to a newspaper, where they will find more of product details. So now these product details, this particular product detail page by Polysleep, this is part of a brand owner who has access to what we call A+ content. I'll talk about A+ content a little bit later, but this is where you can take you can provide more in-depth information about your product, about your company in general, and you can provide engaging content like pictures and images and comparison charts. Now, for resellers or anyone without access to brand registry or who isn't a brand owner, this will simply be a text-based description. So we won't be able to add images or comparison charts. So that's why we want to point out the differences between brand owners and resellers, because brand owners are going to have a few more tools available to them to protect their brand and highlight and educate their customers. So continuing on in that discussion, so part of brand registry, you also get access to what's called a brand store. So 49th Parallel, they are selling on Amazon. If anyone's been to their coffee shops in Vancouver, this is their storefront on Amazon. So it looks like a website. They had layouts and templates that they could choose from, and they've made it a very consistent theme across multiple sales channels, not just on Amazon, but across their own website. So this gives you an idea of how you can take your existing business and expand it onto Amazon without compromising your branding, themes, colors. You can pull all of that in so that you have a consistent feel and experience for your customers across those multiple sales channels. Now, in the body of that storefront, 49th also provides different packaging, more images, video content. So a couple examples here of how you can take it to the next level and really draw in your customers with this engaging content. So all of this, again, is part of Amazon Brand Registry, which gives you access to tools like the brand store that enable you to more accurately represent your brand. Now, this is a free program to enroll in if you have a pending trademark or a fully registered trademark in Canada. So again, access to brand registry is no additional cost to you as an Amazon seller. Now, with brand registry, you can also find and report violations and even share information with us to help proactively prevent violations. So the takeaway there is we are making sure that your IP is not being infringed upon and that there are not bad actors trying to copy your IP or misuse your product without your permission. So the report a violation tool is a powerful program or a powerful tool that gives the control to business owners to police their products. Quick example with that report a violation tool, you can search multiple marketplaces by an image or a text base. And if there is an issue or fraudulent activity, you can highlight that to Amazon and we will take that listing down and we will do an investigation on our side. We'll take that listing down for 3 days or 72 hours because we want to make sure that the customer experience isn't inhibited. So we will take that down while we do the investigation. And if we find reason to take action, we will. So that is a very powerful tool for brand owners selling on Amazon. Now, additional programs like Transparency and Project Zero are going to be an added cost, but those are added layers of protection, where Transparency is a barcode, a 2D barcode that ensures your products are the original products in case you have to deal with fakes or have any issues with fakes. Transparency allows us to, and the customer, to scan that barcode or that serialization to know where that product has come from, gives more information about country of origin and process. So that is a very powerful program. And then Project Zero is one of our automated machine learning programs where we continuously scan our stores and we proactively remove counterfeits. Now, IP Accelerator, Intellectual Property Accelerator, that helps businesses to more quickly obtain intellectual property rights and brand protection, not just in Amazon stores, but in Canada as well. So this is where we will connect business owners with vetted IP law firms to start that conversation. So also, one of the first questions that I have for business owners when I work with them is if they have a trademark. Now, in Canada, I believe that process takes about 18 months to 22 months. So if you start that process and you have a pending trademark, we will accept that into our program and get you access to these additional tools and resources. But if you are a brand owner or you have your own product, it really makes a lot of sense to invest in a trademark, because you want to protect what you've built. You want to protect your IP. Now, customer reviews are going to be one of the most recognizable features of the Amazon shopping experience. Now, having high volume and predominantly positive reviews will help with converting traffic from a visit to a sale. And resources within Seller Central will show you how to learn from reviews, answer questions effectively, and adjust your listings to enhance the shopping experience to help drive positive reviews. So, keys to good ratings is: 1, accurately describe your product; 2, provide fast shipping; and 3, proactively respond to questions. All right, so now that we have a better understanding of how to create and list products, we want to pivot and start talking about how those products are going to get discovered and how we get them into your customers' hands. So now that we've got the basics down for registering your account and setting up listings, we want to talk about sponsored products or discoverability and fulfillment by Amazon. So to increase sales, you're going to need to look at 2 components: product discovery and sales conversion. So building that great product listing helps with conversion once your customers discover your product. So when you sell online, a key question to ask is, how will customers find your product? Is there an existing shopping intent for your product, or do you need to build awareness around your product? So tools like sponsored ads will help shape your marketing plan. So within Seller Central, you'll be able to create ad campaigns with tools such as sponsored products and sponsored brands to help drive traffic to your listings in your storefront. Now here you can see a customer search has populated a page of products based on the keywords of the product they're looking for. Now, sponsored ads will surface items based on those keywords in addition to the organic shopping results. Now, and for registered brand owners, sponsored brand ads can highlight your brand and direct traffic to your brand store. So now once customers are finding your products, you're going to need a way to deliver them. So there are 2 ways you can fulfill your Amazon orders: either with Fulfillment by Amazon, where you use Amazon's infrastructure, or through self-fulfillment, also known as the Merchant Fulfillment Network. Now, when deciding between these 2 fulfillment options, it's important to consider not only the cost savings and efficiency, but also the amount of time invested in each. So one of the many benefits of using FBA is taking the potential logistics headache out of your hands and allowing Amazon to handle it for you. This gives you valuable time back to focus on the most important things: your brand and expanding your business. Other benefits include Prime eligible products, which means your products in FBA could be eligible for up to same-day free shipping on eligible orders. You can also take advantage of Amazon's customer service and free up your time while they handle customer questions and returns for you. It's a simple process to send products to an Amazon fulfillment center. So we'll take a quick look at that next. So within Seller Central, you'll create a shipping plan with the products you want to send to an FBA fulfillment center. You pick the products and use our scanning labels to let us know what you're sending in, and so we know where to store it. You'll also have an option to use a preferred carrier to ship those products to the fulfillment center. So you'll essentially have two labels, one for the carrier and one for Amazon to scan upon arrival. And once your products check in, Amazon stores it until an order is placed. Then we pick, pack, and ship your product. Now, as your business grows, it'll be important to track your business metrics. With sales traffic and conversion starting to increase, you'll want to keep track of how your business is doing. Seller Central provides tools for tracking business metrics, including number of visitors, views, conversion rate, and even where the traffic is coming from. You'll also want to pay attention to customer feedback and learn more about who your customers are. So using powerful tools like brand analytics, brand owners will be able to further enhance and build their brands on and off Amazon. Now, there are a number of reports that we could dive into, but they're all available with Seller Central, and they help you make your business much more efficient as you're selling on Amazon. Now, if you want to continue to further your education and learn as much as possible about selling on Amazon, we have our Seller University, which is the original learning hub for Amazon, where we have all of the video courses and content and written content to help you get started. Now, these are all self-service and searchable by topic, and each video is around 3 to 5 minutes in length and shows you click by click what to do. These videos can be found in Seller Central or on our YouTube page by searching Amazon Seller University. Now, if you're not able to find the answers you need within these resources, we also have seller support, which is available to provide you with even more assistance. So within Seller Central, simply click Help to get started, and from there you can search solutions to quickly fix your issue, or you can contact seller support directly. And that concludes our event today. Thank you all so much for allowing me to speak today. I hope that this information has been insightful and new information. And again, here is our contact. Feel free to write this down. Reach out to me directly, and we will be happy to answer your questions, talk about your situation, and just see if Amazon is the right fit. And if it is, hopefully we can help you with launching and ramping on Amazon.
Thank you so much, Matt, for that great presentation. Razik summed it up very nicely in the chat there. Thanks for doing this Lunch and Learn. Amazing content, an awesome delivery, and I'm getting some text messages as well from some of our members who are complimenting you on your presentation today. It's very interesting for me. Like most of the people who are here today, I probably spent more on Amazon than I probably should have. But it was very, it's very cool to get a look behind the curtains and see what's going on to get that content out there. So we certainly do appreciate you sharing that with us today. Great presentation. Your work is not done yet though, Matt, because there are some questions that have come in for you. You had talked a little bit about what some of the requirements are to set up an Amazon account. And one of the questions from an anonymous attendee was, do you need to review business licenses and business numbers? For sole proprietors, they don't necessarily need them. So can you help out with this question?
So I don't believe Amazon will review a business license. A business number is an option to be added under tax information within your Seller Central account. I believe that is part of the identification verification process whenever we are onboarding businesses. So the next step, like once you have a seller account lined up, you can add your business number, your Canadian business number within our Seller Central, and that will help you with taxes, whether it's you have the ability to add your GST, as well as I believe there are 4 provinces where you can add business numbers as well. I think those are, I want to say BC, Quebec, Saskatchewan, and maybe Manitoba, I think. But there are options to add those in to help with taxes, sales tax.
Awesome. Thank you. I hope that answered the question. You had talked about the different kinds of plans that are available, Matt. There are a couple questions with regards to the professional plan, and there's a question about what is an additional selling fee? What is the additional selling fee?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll just point out that the only two static fees, if we focus on the professional plan for the moment, the only two static fees that businesses will face is that $29.99 per month and then a referral fee. So the referral fee is, think of that as Amazon's commission. That is typically 15% on average. That is the bare minimum. If you did nothing else, those would be the only two fees. Now, getting into some of the programs that Amazon offers, like Fulfillment by Amazon, that is a service. So that will come at an additional fee. Where that is based on the weight and size of the products that you're sending to the fulfillment center. Also within FBA, there is a storage fee, and that is for the amount of space that you take up within that fulfillment center. I will say that I believe that fee is around $28, $30 per cubic meter. So a cubic meter is a lot of space if you have small to medium sized items. And whenever you average that out over your inventory, it becomes pennies on the dollar. I believe our FBA fees are now public. And I want to say that, the first 250 to 500 grams are going to be around $5 per item. And that, again, whenever you're thinking about these costs or these fees, that includes Amazon picking your product, packing it using our packing materials, and shipping it out. So, and we will also handle customer returns and customer questions. All of that is included in that $5 fee. You, as the business owner, would need to get the product to us. So we provide that preferred carrier partner, which offers those discounted rates for small parcel shipments. You would need to get that product to us, and then we will move it around the country for you. One of the things is that Amazon will also tell you where to send that product. So you might be in Vancouver, and Amazon's algorithm might say you need to send this to Toronto. That doesn't mean that your inventory is going to stay in Toronto, but the majority of it will be shipped there, and then Amazon will most likely start moving it to some of the other fulfillment centers around the country, so that you as a business owner won't have to worry about that. So fulfillment by Amazon could be another fee. Advertising is going to be another fee. That is a pay-per-click method. So if you're familiar with Google Ads, it is pay-per-click. So businesses are only charged whenever a customer clicks on your ad that is part of your advertising campaign. I would say that to put some more transparency there on advertising, you might set a daily budget of $10 or $20, depending on how aggressive you want to be starting out of the gate. And then you're going to identify a number of keywords that are associated with your products, and you're basically going to bid on those. And a bid is going to be per click, and that might be 5 cents per click. So if a customer sees your product listing as a sponsored product and they click on it, that 5 cents is going to be charged to your daily budget of $10. And whenever we get to that $10 amount, it's going to pause your campaign for the day until the following day, whenever it's going to start again. So you can get really aggressive with advertising. You can increase that 5 cents per click up to, whatever amount you want that you're comfortable with. And that's going to help with getting more visibility. And it's kind of a snowball effect. As we get more traction, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And I would say in the advertising campaigns, those are something that are constantly adjusted by business owners. It's not a set and forget by any means. You want to be aware of what is converting, what keywords are converting well, and removing any wasteful spending on keywords that are not converting. So that's how you really dial in and get efficient with discoverability.
That's a great response, Matt. Thank you. You had said there's fulfillment by Amazon, and you can also self-ship as well. For those who decide to go with the fulfillment by Amazon, is there a minimum amount of inventory that I can send into fulfillment by Amazon? And the second part to that question was, do you charge inventory storage fee? And if so, how much?
Great. Yeah. So I think I answered the storage fee. So again, that was it's around $28 to $30 per cubic meter. Now that fee will change depending on the timing of the year. So it's important to be aware of peak holiday season. So Q4, October to December, Obviously, we're seeing a lot of inventory come into our fulfillment centers because we've got holiday seasons where businesses will see 60% of their sales realized. So there are some increased costs. I believe it's around $2 to $3 more. Don't quote me on this, but there is an increased cost for those peak seasons. And then there is also a long-term storage fee, which is more of an incentive to have inventory move through our network. We don't want to act as a storage facility for business owners. We don't want inventory just sitting. So there is a long-term storage fee that kicks in at $365. So if your inventory has been in a fulfillment center for almost a year, you want to start thinking about moving that product, whether it's through promotions and coupons and discounts, or just submitting a removal order to Amazon, and we will send back however many units you want. Now, the first part of that question is, what's the minimum that I can send? 1 unit. I mean, you can send in 1 unit. I recommend, whenever I'm talking to businesses for the first time, I say, hey, let's start small. Let's start with what your best sellers are, what you know is going to sell well. And let's send in a small shipment just so that you understand what that process looks like of what it is to select the products, tell us how much, and how to ship that out to us. And then have that second shipment of a larger shipment ready to go to replenish your inventory. So typically I will say, hey, let's send 20 units in, depending on the size and the type of product. But on average, let's focus around 10 to 20 units as your first shipment, and then let's have that second shipment ready to go.
Awesome, thank you so much. You had talked earlier about suggesting that people get a trademark. Will a Canadian trademark work in the US, Matt?
That is a great question. So unfortunately, it will not work outside of Amazon in the US. You will need to get a US trademark to have protections outside of Amazon in the US. But if you're a brand registered on Amazon.ca and you expand to Amazon.com, those brand registry protections will extend to your .com account. But again, outside of Amazon.com and other sales channels, there won't be protection unless you have that US trademark.
Okay, awesome. And I know that several of our members online today actually sell the products. They're looking for other avenues to sell them. I also have a lot of people in my life who said, hey, I want to start selling products on Amazon, but don't know where to start. Can you give any recommendations of what people should sell on Amazon?
That's a great question. I can't specifically say, but I can give some tips on how to research. I would highly suggest looking. So let me back up a little bit. So my role on Amazon, working with our Amazon.com sellers and expanding into .ca, that was to bring selection to Amazon Canada. 5, 6, 7 years ago, Canadians were shopping on Amazon.com because they couldn't find the selection on Amazon.ca. So they were paying for those international shipping costs. They were paying duties and taxes to have those products shipped from the States into Canada. That gap has closed quite a bit over the last 5 years. But there's still opportunity there. There's an opportunity gap. And I would say, look for popular items on Amazon.com. If you're looking to be a reseller, I would say look on Amazon.com for popular items and see if those exact same items are on .ca yet. If they're not, then there's an opportunity to bring that selection into Canada. In terms of brand owners, or if you are looking to private label or manufacture, there's obviously a lot more work that goes into that. But I think you would get more joy out of being a brand owner, and engaging with customers, learning from your customers, being involved with Q&As on your product listings. Whereas a reseller, it could get price competitive, where sometimes it could be a race to the bottom of the barrel and margins are razor thin. A brand owner, I mean, what can I say? There are product categories. Let's just say I love pet products, outdoor products. I think I can't get enough of them. Halloween, it's one time a year, but I mean, Halloween is pretty big, and I am always excited to work with someone who's got Halloween selection.
That's
So
awesome.
just some high level tips there.
Great answer. Look, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Make sure everybody can get out of here by 1. There are more questions in the queue that unfortunately we're not going to get an opportunity to get to. there is a question from somebody who says, we need help to open up our account in Amazon. There is Matt's contact information. I suggest you reach out to him with any further questions that you have. There was another question about, can we get a copy of this presentation? We are recording this, so it will be posted onto our website as well for everybody to look at. So as we wrap this up, on behalf of the Richmond Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to thank Matt for sharing his expertise, in an easy to understand manner for all of us in the room today. I found it gave us a great introduction to selling on Amazon, and it actually set the stage well for the next 2 webinars in this 3-part series. So on July the 6th, Matt will be back to present another webinar on Amazon Brand Registry. I know he touched a little bit on it today. He'll go into more detail, how to build and protect your brand. And on July 20th, Matt will wrap up the 3-part series with a webinar on fulfillment and reach on Amazon, expanding your reach. So if these events aren't on our website yet, they will be shortly. And as always, you can find them on our events page at richmondchamber.ca/events. So speaking of upcoming events, next Thursday, June 23rd, we will be hosting Networking Dim Sum, combining 2 of the things we love most, food and networking. This is going to be an opportunity for members to share and guests to share a 90-second elevator pitch to share who they are, what they do, what they're looking for. We expect this event to sell out, so please sign up now. And finally, we'll be hosting our monthly members-exclusive Business After 5 networking event on Wednesday, June 29th at the Arts Connection. Sign up to learn about our host, connect with other members, and continue developing those relationships with those you've met before. Again, go to richmondchamber.ca/events for up-to-date listings. Thank you, everybody, again, for joining us today. Thank you, Matt, and we'll see you at a future Richmond Chamber of Commerce event. It is 2 minutes to 1 p.m. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.